Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still firmly pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this article about deadly flash flooding in North Carolina as extreme heat, critical fire danger continues out west. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says the summer of deadly flash flooding continues, with 2 people killed by flash flooding on Wednesday near Spring Hope, North Carolina, when their car was swept away by fast-moving floodwaters. The area was under a considerable flash flood warning Wednesday evening, and 4 to 6 inches of rain fell in the afternoon and into the evening commute. On Thursday, a risk for excessive rainfall is in place from the Florida Panhandle up to southeast Virginia, though the threat will not be as high as it was on Wednesday, with 1 to 2 inch total with 1 to 2 inch totals and possible isolated higher amounts expected with these storms. The wet pattern continues to create cooler than normal conditions for the region, bring record-breaking cool conditions in some places like Richmond, Virginia, which broke its daily record for the coolest high temperature yesterday by only reaching 70 degrees. More record cold highs are possible on Thursday morning in Greensboro and Elizabeth City, North Carolina, as well as Roanoke, Virginia. Meanwhile, fire weather alerts are in places across 7 states in the West: Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Idaho, Wyoming, Nebraska, and South Dakota, for critical fire weather conditions conducive for rapid fire spread with any new or existing wildfires in these regions. Fire weather conditions are expected to remain critical through at least Saturday, but could persist into the beginning of next week. Extreme heat warnings remain in effect for parts of the Southwest, including Palm Springs, Phoenix, and Tucson, as heat advisories are also in effect on Thursday for other areas of the Four Corners region, stretching into the plains as the heat begins to shift east in places like Albuquerque, El Paso, Amarillo, Dallas, OKC, Wichita, North Place, Denver, and Sioux City. High temperatures between 108 and 118 are possible for these areas through Friday, as record high temperatures are possible for cities like Palm Springs, Phoenix, Tucson, and Albuquerque. Phoenix, Tucson today, and Albuquerque through Friday. The heat is expected to be less extreme for the Southwest heading into the weekend and into next week. Widespread heat will return to the Northeast and much of the country. Severe storms capable of producing a few tornadoes, large hail, and significant wind gusts will be possible Thursday and Friday for parts of the upper Midwest. But for Thursday, the highest threat is centered over North Dakota, including Fargo and Bismarck, as severe storms will also be possible for others like Grand Forks, Billings, and Aberdeen. On Friday, parts of North Dakota, including Fargo, are under the highest threat again, as a few tornadoes, very large hail, and significant wind gusts will once again be possible for this area. Elsewhere, widespread air quality alerts have been canceled for many areas across the Midwest and Northeast as this round of smoke from the Canadian wildfires begin to thin out. though Chicago still remains under an air quality alert for Thursday due to pollution and wildfire smoke. Some hazy skies may be visible across the Midwest and Northeast, though it does not necessarily mean unhealthy air quality. Meanwhile, the tropics are becoming more active as we approach the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season as Tropical Storm Dexter continues to trek northeast in the North Atlantic, though it does not pose any threats to the land in the U.S. Any, it's like, yeah, an area of showers and thunderstorms off the coast of the southeast may develop into a low pressure system in the next 24 hours, though the window of potential development is beginning to wane. Conditions over the warm waters may allow the formation of a tropical depression this weekend, and the system is expected to move north and then northeast out to sea. Showers are expected throughout the southeast through the weekend, however, as this system tries to organize and then pushes out to sea. Yeah, so you got some high temperatures, you got flash flooding. Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And that's right. Because, I mean, look at everything that's happening. Look at all these storms and tempests and fires that are happening. You got wildfires in Canada. You got wildfires in certain parts of the U.S. You got these rainstorms. You got flash flooding. They're talking about there could be hail and there could be tornadoes. And in these events, people do get wounded and killed, and there is a lot of destruction. And this is why you're supposed to fear the Lord, because these events are from the Lord. These are the Lord's judgments. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And the rainstorms, the lightning storms, the tornadoes, the wildfires. These are some of the ways that the Lord is visiting. Isaiah 28:2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And that's what the Lord is sending. Destroying storms, hail, floods. The men of the Lord have been saying that, these events were going to take place. A lot of floods, a lot of wildfires, tornadoes, earthquakes, because it's according to the scriptures. Psalms 11:6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. And when you look up the definition of tempest, it's a violent windy storm, such as a hurricane or a tornado. And in that article, it did say that in certain states there could be tornadoes. And then, we're getting into hurricane season. So, there could be a lot of hurricanes getting stirred up as well. These are all just signs of the times. Psalms 83:14, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And clearly that's what the Heavenly Father is doing. Just sending out these storms and tempests left and right, causing destruction and chaos, and in some cases even deaths. Ecclesiasticus 39:28, they be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. And when you look up the definition of appease, it means to satisfy. So these spirits that are created for vengeance were created to appease the wrath of the Lord by executing his judgments upon whomever the Lord decides he wants his judgments brought upon. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So these fires, these hailstorms, a famine, and ultimately death itself are spirits of vengeance created by the Lord. And in these last days that we're living in, these spirits of vengeance are going to be used a lot more. Luke 21:22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And we are living in those days of vengeance. That's why there are so many of the Lord's spirits that are created for vengeance that are active in these last days. Sore strokes are being laid upon wicked people left and right. It's only going to increase. It's only going to get more intense, more deadly, more destructive, more chaotic. And that's why those of us of the hopeful elect, we got to stay prayed up. Luke 21:36, watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. And that's what those of us of the hopeful elect are doing. The sincere brothers and sisters, we're watching and we're praying, hoping that the Lord accounts us worthy to escape all the death and destruction that we know he's going to unleash upon this earth in these last days as vengeance for the wickedness of these wicked people. As bad as things are with the heat waves and the wildfires and the storms and the tempests, it's going to get a whole lot worse. And the majority of people are in no way, shape, or form prepared for what's about to happen. But see, the Lord has been preparing those of us of the hopeful elect, first and foremost, spiritually preparing us for, the events that are about to take place. And it's in these times where the Lord is going to show who he's been dealing with the whole time and who he's been against this whole time. He's going to make it undeniably clear So all the people that be out here scoffing and scorning at the men of the Lord, those people are about to eat all those scoffs. All that scoffing and scorning, it's going to come back to bite them. But as I've been saying, we all have to reap what we've sown. And there's a lot of people out here that are about to reap a lot of destruction, and they don't even know it. But those of us of the hopeful elect, we got to keep our eyes on the prize, and just keep moving forward, trusting in the Lord, fearing the Lord, watching, reading, praying, fasting, just staying locked in. Because things are only going to continue to go downhill all over the world from here. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, the Wadiyah, Bashim Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.